welcome back to the ever-increasing downward spiral of chaos. I got one of these. I got it a long time ago. I predominantly made it a long time ago, and I dropped it and broke it recently. So it's time to get back to it and give it another chance. Here we go. Why, that doesn't need repairing, you cry? It is a masterpiece. Oh, the little cross has snapped off. But I dropped it when we were packing for the move, and also I started dabbling with it, which I promised myself I wouldn't do. But I wanted the nice Romanesque tower for a castle I'm building. Yes, I'm building a castle. We'll get around to that another day. So I have deployed some bits and pieces to give it a little round tower, which I think in principle works. It looks a bit odd and a bit ropey because I dropped it, and well, that came off, and that came off, and that came off, and of course the other bit came off, and I've snapped and lost the crucifix, and it wasn't quite finished anyway, so let's get on. So the paintwork wasn't complete, which means I've got more of that to do then. I wanted it to look botched many times over. So I've done things like filled that arrow slit. I'm kicking myself now, I should have done that with brick. There's all kinds of shambles down there, and one of my favourite bits, because this is based on a real building that I worked in, a wall that blanks off a door and the door still opens. Just brilliant, that kind of thing. An arrow slit that runs into the wall. Shambles of wreckage there. So the sort of history of this would be that the tower was there before whatever it was attached to was knocked down and probably recycled into being a church. But the tower was still useful. And then gradually more and more bits and pieces have been added, knocked off and so on. Particularly to the tower. So that's the plan. There's a lot of repainting or tidying up of the paintwork to do, and there's still some filling to do, although I quite like the kind of wonkiness of all this. That a couple of friends don't like me doing wonky buildings, and I take them to historical places and say, look, there's wonky, and they go, oh yeah, and they're real converts, and then they go home and they straighten everything up again and then moan at me. But I'm sticking to it. A little bit of filling to do to kind of make sense of it, so it doesn't look like bits and pieces just jammed in. And then just tiny tidying up of the paintwork. But I've glued it now. That means we're making progress. Oh, this is the worst bit. I quite like that rectangular, the flat rectangular, almost base or plinth. That's nice. But you've got this rectangular edge around it with rectangular slots, so that needs filling and blending in. But apart from that, most of the construction is there.